I went to my 17-year-old son and said, hey, I've noticed you bringing home a lot of sodas. You know, he's autonomous. He's got his car. He's got his debit card.
Right.
I'm like, let's look at how much that's cost you. What do you think? And he's like, and he kind of calculated ahead. He's like, oh crap. I'm like, yeah, like you do a lot of hard work and that's what you're spending your money on. It seems so cheap at each balance. But then I'm like I was listening to, you know, this guy I know, Robb, talk about this. And so we had a conversation about it. So tell me, I mean, I'm not sure if you can recall that conversation. Doesn't really matter. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, the focus on protein is kind of one of my biggies, and the no or minimal liquid calories is another one. And it's like juice is not good for your kids. It's just not, you know, and it particularly in the way that people consume it. When you look at the containers that people drank juice in like the 1950s, it was like a shot glass. It was like a Burley shot glass, you know. Mm-hmm. If you want to have orange and apple juice in a Burley shot glass and that's your serving, fine. But people are having juice in like 30-ounce containers, and they're getting 30-ounce container. It's like over 100 grams of sugar. Like it is like having 3 Coca-Colas, you know. And people are like, well, it's juice, it's better. It's like, no, it is no different. Like it's just no different. Like nobody sits there to get 100 grams of carbs from an orange. You would need to sit down and eat 5 oranges back to back. Who other than like a gorilla does that? Like nobody does that. And then you still have the fiber and the vitamins and the minerals. And the fact that it took you 30 or 40 minutes to eat those 5, you know, versus like you're just sipping on it and you can burn right through that thing in no time. So there's a lot of back and forth out in like the evidence-based nutrition world where people will say, if you don't overeat, then sugar doesn't matter. And I think there's some truth to that. The tough thing is that, you know, free living people tend to overeat. You know, it's like, well, there's the chips and here's this and here's that. But there are people, I think that they're mainly fitness competitors. I think that they all have wardrobes made out of human skins hanging in a hidden closet somewhere, but they're able to like eat half of a Twinkie and quarter of a donut, and they eat their protein, they do this, and they look good. And, you know, then at some point we discovered that they're axe murderers and stuff like that. But liquid sugar legitimately has an effect on our metabolism that's super bad. When we were growing up, there was there were 2 types of diabetes. There was adult onset and there was childhood diabetes. And childhood diabetes is an autoimmune condition. Today, there are children as young as 18 months old that have what we would call adult onset diabetes, insulin resistant diabetes, which is caused mainly from these liquid carbohydrates. And what's happening there is people are feeding their kids huge amounts of sugar, mainly in the form of juices and sodas and stuff like that, and all these other hyperpalatable foods. And it's giving these kids what's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's turning their liver into a chunk of Crisco, basically. And adult onset diabetes in children and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease was unheard of, unknown 20 years ago in kids. Like it did not exist.